So I thought I had come across and had relations with all the slithering snakes that the world has to offer. But little did I know that I was yet to befriend a whole racist. Kanti yini inkinga yami? Am I a Slima? Kindergarten, primary school, high school, obuqwini. Yo, even at university, I had a buffet of shady friends, which is understandable because, during those stages of our lives, we're still trying to figure everything out, really, even ourselves. So we're bound to make mistakes here and there, especially when it comes to choosing friends or associates. You know what I mean? But after uni, I was certain that nobody would ever play me again. So I entered the work field and came across what seemed to be my guardian angel. She was very warm, welcoming, super kind, friendly, helpful, almost motherly even, which came as a huge surprise to me because I genuinely did not believe that females like that existed. Based on past personal experiences, I had never come across a genuinely loving female because all the females that I knew would instantaneously see another female as competition and try to sabotage them, you know? My guardian angel and I had a lot in common. We were both very strong, opinionated, and free-spirited women who enjoyed going out, meeting new people, shopping, dancing, traveling, and just living life to the fullest. Our similarities were refreshing, but our differences were wild. Wild. And they caused us to butt heads in the craziest ways. I'm a really private person. I don't believe in sharing the nitty-gritty details of every single thing that goes on in my life. I don't. But she felt as though I was being secretive, perhaps because I didn't trust her, or maybe because I didn't value our friendship as much as she did. But no, I just choose to live my life that way. On the other hand, she was really open. She didn't believe in privacy. She would share every single thing that you could think of, some things that you can't even imagine. And I know ukuthi siyawuthanda umgosi siyabantu ne, but she'd share things that you wouldn't want to hear. That's how bad it was. And I found that to be weird and really cringe. And I'm the type of person to help others without expecting anything in return or without broadcasting it and telling everybody that I did this for so and I deserve a pat on the back, blah de blah de blah. Why? Rather, don't help then, you know? But she had the tendency to take people in, make them feel comfortable enough to open up to her about everything really, and then she'd help them, then go around airing out their business and then talk about how she helped so and so with this, that, and the other. And I just found that so distasteful. I'm always open to learning. Ufunda uze ufe. Nobody knows it all, and you'll never grow if you always think you're right. But Yena, she knew it all. And if you didn't agree with anything she believed in or anything that she asserted, then you were the enemy. If you tried to correct her, then you were fighting. At some point, she slipped up and said the N-word in my presence, nochal. Yo, my blood was boiling. But Yazin, a lot of people have to be really, really thankful that I've done all the work that I needed to do to become the new and reformed Zanny that I am today, because old Zanny would have slept her unconscious. But I just confronted her. I gave her the business, and I was like, don't come here with that mayonnaise. And at first she denied it. She denied it. She denied it. And she's like, how dare you even think that of me? I don't think like that. I would never say that. So, Siswabant, you're basically saying, Mutimina, I'm making things up. I'm hearing things, Mina. So, Mina nyahlanya. Did she not resort to their favorite argument on some, well, if that term is so derogatory, then how come you guys are allowed to use it? And how come you guys are allowed to say it to each other? Hey, hold up. First of all, I don't owe you any explanation. Number two, wena self, you know, utumbuzi nyongo. But since we're here, let me break it down for you, sis. We, as the people, decided to de weaponize that term and rather use it as a way to show love to each other. Keywords, to each other. So if you're not part of my community, then you're not allowed to use it. Ever. Anywho, I noticed how every time we went out, she'd sort of force me to take center stage. But ke mina njengenjwayelo vele ngiyangena esitikini ngiyangena esekeleni ngidunuse ngifuquze ngibenuze ngisantuze kube mnandi kube nje yaya because that's just how I do. I don't believe in going out and thinking yobo sismabanda usismabhoro usismahlina lapha upastor Mporo. No, like if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna show up and show out. That's just how I do. But then I noticed that she was actually using this as a tool to get guys to flock to our table so she could get free drinks. But the problem is, the guys would gravitate towards me, and she would get so jealous. You would see it written all over her face. Like, and she'd be like, it's time for us to go, let's go. And I'd be like, sorry sis, ufuna ukuhamba? Kusasemnandi. Kulungile, bye. I'm not about to leave just because you feel like you're not getting the attention you deserve. I'm not about to stop having fun and nurse your little entitlement issues. Again, 1950 lo. Ngeke sizwe ngawe. Khohle. Bye. Then I started noticing how whenever we were about to go out, she'd wait for me to finish getting dressed so that she'd copy my outfit. Masifike endaweni usisi useuza nenhle. She'd act like me, she'd dance like me, she'd talk like me, walk like me, literally uza nenhle. And I was like, hey bo, how baby kwenzenjani? And then she'd go around telling people, kahle kahle, I'm black on the inside, so don't mind my external appearance. Which was really funny because she constantly bragged about that very same external appearance of hers. She would flex about how most employers preferred her pale skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes, and people who looked like her over people who looked like me, regardless of how skilled, talented, educated, or qualified people who look like me actually are. Like, how disgusting are you as a person to brag about such? How disgusting. Are you not embarrassed? Because that is really embarrassing.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
You know very well that you don't deserve all your privileges. You know very well that some of your people violated, stole, killed my people in order for you to live the soft life that you're living. But you have the gall to rub that in my face. You have the gall to take pride in such. And you know, I always try to put myself in the next person's shoes in order to fully understand them. And I totally get why most of her people are comfortable with their privileges regardless of how they attained them, because ultimately we all want to live a comfortable life. So the fact that they're ahead in that sense means that they're winning in that sense. So the thought of justice and equality scares them because it means that they'll be stripped of all these privileges in this soft life. You know what I mean? But ke wena mngani wami, wena my sister from another mister, to rub that in my face? Have you no shame, no heart, no conscience, knowing very well how this life is set up for people like me, yet you claim to love me? She was the type to even get annoyed when I won a game. Guys, a game. Like whenever we played games and I won, she said things along the lines of, ugh, you always win everything, you bloody overachiever. You already have it all, damn it. Give others a chance. How cho, cho, cho. How cho, cho, cho. Mono gaga. And when we had to attend work functions, she'd practically beg me not to look too fly, as I'd end up stealing all the attention. So kahle kahle ngibe mubi, ngibe basic, in order to boost your low self-esteem, mngani wami. I get all the attention that I want and need from my man, so trust and believe I'm not trying to steal anybody else's. Also, whether I dress up or down, makeup or no makeup, ngibaba sidalwa My confidence is on steroids, plus my personality slaps. You can't take that away from me. I could literally walk around barefoot in a potato sack or garbage bag and I would still turn heads and break necks because that's just the kind of woman that I am. And if she was the kind of woman who didn't view another woman who's confident and comfortable enough in her own skin as competition, then she wouldn't even think like that to begin with. She'd also try to put me down in order to feel good about herself. I remember how whenever we'd go out as a group of colleagues or associates, she'd always try to find something to shade me on, especially if she knew that there was a guy within that group who was into me. This one time, she literally pulled on my wig and shouted, "Yo, when was the last time you straightened this thing? Looks like a bloody helmet." Yo, bakadeni abangani, guys. Izinyoka. In front of Pamgwabantu, in front of the very same guy that she was trying to hook me up with. If you really feel like your girl isn't popping, why not pull her to the side? Address that privately and try to fix it. I mean, that's what friends are supposed to do. Why is amgunghlambalaza? Lapho mina, I would compliment her all the time, every day without fail. And I'm not saying ukuthi I was expecting her ukuthi angikhothi izinqa, angincome njalo. No. But I also believe ukuthi as much as friends should compliment each other, they should also compliment each other. I mean, I already knew that she thought I was fly because she was basically trying to be me, but I didn't take that as a compliment because it didn't come from a good place. It was sheer envy, and that's dangerous. She was also the type of person who wanted all the attention, all to herself, all the time. She'd even go as far as lying about her life struggles or claiming to suffer from diseases that are non existent because she had made them all up in her head, simply because she wanted everybody to sympathize with her and to praise her for being able to stay strong and overcome all her trials and tribulations. She also used gossip as a bonding tool. She would gossip about our colleagues, our associates, her family, her friends, and go back and smile in all these people's faces. She'd stir up so much drama between so many people and then play the victim. I mean, that is psychotic behavior. And it made me wonder what she was saying or doing behind my back. And she'd always get really intimidated every time I'd link up with other black people, which kind of makes sense because banjalo vele abafuna ukuthi sihlangane because they know just how powerful we are. But also the way that she treated other black people disgusted me. I despised it. She would treat them as though they were peasants, snap her fingers and whistle whenever she was calling them, talk to them anyhow. Who do you think you are? Obviously, I would call her out on that, and of course, she'd resort to their favorite argument yet again. I'm not racist because I have black friends. My family helps poor black people, and every now and then I have intimate relations with black men. Yo, so ultimately, I decided to love her from afar. I was just like, I am done with this. I am tired of her shenanigans. I am khatful, okay? But because my entitlement issues have some of them by the... She's still trying to force kwa friendship leyo. Okokoko, okwenkukhu nangoku. Sembi.